Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I am going to be talking about my first impressions for my brand new medium format film camera, the Mamiya 645 1000S. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Deo. I love taking photos and I love making videos about life here on my channel. Thank you for stopping by if you're new. Hope you consider subscribing after you watch this video. So today we're going to be talking about my first impressions for the Mamiya 645 1000S. I've owned this camera for about 3 or 4 months now. I've put through a couple rolls of film and I've really been enjoying shooting with the camera. And today I just want to tell you my thoughts on it, tell you what I like and dislike about it so far, and just go through a couple of pictures that I've taken with it. So this is not my first medium format camera. Even though 645 cameras are usually someone's first delve into medium format camera, this was not my first. My very first camera in the medium format for film was my Mamiya RZ67. Now I made an entire video about that already, so I'll leave a link up here for you to go and watch that once you finish watching this. But yeah, this was not my first film camera. And after shooting with my RZ for a long time, I found that the weight of it did get to me, and the portability of it also wasn't great. Now, being a father of 2 young children, I need my hands, and the nature of shooting with the RZ just wasn't quite what I needed in my lifestyle. I needed to be able to put the camera down and pick it up quicker, but I also really wanted to shoot medium format and have the quality that you get out of shooting medium format film. So after a couple of years of my RZ, I found a couple of weak points that I found really didn't fit my lifestyle, and I started looking into 645 format cameras. I picked up my Fuji GS645S, shot with that for a while, and I really loved being able to shoot with those extra 5 frames you get out of a 645 format camera. Enter the Mamiya 645. I did a whole bunch of research on this camera before. It's something that a lot of my friends and a lot of people who just don't even care about cameras knew that I really wanted to pick one of these up, but I really just couldn't find myself to pull the trigger until I found a really great deal for a Facebook Marketplace purchase, once again for this particular camera. Now, having used the RZ67, I found it to be amazing. The glass for these cameras is just beautiful. Like, Mamiya glass is legendary for a reason, and that is absolutely the same case with shooting on this camera so far. The glass on the 80mm lens that I've got with this camera is really nice and clear, and the f2.8 aperture on this lens allows me to shoot in most environments that I'm going to be taking this camera to shoot with anyway. Now, this camera came with the 80mm 2.8 lens, the metered eye level prism finder on the top here, as well as the 220 film back and the 120 film back. So I was pretty kitted out with everything I needed to use to shoot this camera, and the seller even posted alongside the camera 4 rolls of film, some Kodak Gold, my favorite. So I was very happy for the bundle price of $900. So I was very eager to go out and shoot with this camera, and I did. I took it out for a walk in the park. I took it out and just fired a bunch of test rolls. I took it to a Cars and Coffee event here in Canberra and really enjoy shooting with the camera. And this is where I'm going to start talking about some of the things I absolutely love about shooting with this camera so far. So diving right in, the first thing, it's not even to do with the camera, and I'm purely comparing this off the RZ, but this camera has a strap, and being able to put it around my neck is amazing. So as I mentioned before, I've got 2 kids, and my lifestyle right now is not as free in terms of hands and time. So me being able to just strap this around my neck, pull it up to my eye and take some photos, and put it back around my neck again and move on from taking that photo somewhat quicker than with my RZ is a massive deal to me. I know you can pick up neck straps for the RZ67, but it's not really ideal having a 4.5 kilo necklace around your neck every single day if you are going out and shooting with this thing being the RZ. But this Mamiya 645 is significantly lighter, and it has 15 shots per roll. So I'm not constantly switching out the film, well, as often as I would be with the RZ67. Another thing that I've been enjoying about the Mamiya 645 shooting experience is the fact that there are 2 shutter buttons. There's actually one right here where my thumb lives and right here where my pointer lives. Having shot with the RZ67, I am more familiar with being able to just shoot with the bottom shutter button, but having this shutter button where my thumb lives and where your thumb would naturally lie while holding this camera opens up the usability for if I do want to pick up a waist level finder, because then I am just looking down at the camera like this. I've got my shutter speed here on the left, and I can just press the shutter button using my right thumb and advance it. Really, really cool. I've always wanted to shoot with a waist level finder, so this might be the camera that I finally pick one up and give that a proper go. If you didn't notice in that whole action there, one of the other big things that I'm enjoying about this camera, apart from the photos that you get with it of course, is the fact that when you are advancing the film, you have a whole lever here to wind like you're on a big sailboat and you gotta crank things. So satisfying, unlike anything I've ever shot before. It is awesome and I'm loving it so far. Having a metered viewfinder is usually the way that I go. I just like being able to meter every situation when I need to and not have to carry a separate light meter. I do have a Sekonic meter, but I honestly haven't really used that since I shot that video. Who knows how long ago now. So yes, I have the eye level prism finder on my Mamiya 645. Great, and I love it. Loading and unloading the film is also quite a unique experience on this camera. Seeing contraptions like this within this camera made me really just amazed at the technology that they were using back then, and I really find things like this to be quite interesting and unique, and this is part of photography that I really enjoy. There's a feature on this with multi-exposure, so there's a little switch down the bottom of the camera down here that you can flick from the first position onto the multi-exposure position. I have never actually shot multi-exposures or like intentionally gone out to shoot multi-exposures, but the fact that this camera has it and has made it so easy to do makes me want to go out and do that some more. So I might go and test them out. Stay tuned for a video on some double exposures in the future. Now, with all those amazing features, there are definitely a couple of features and a couple of quirks that I found about this camera that I personally didn't enjoy too much, but might enjoy down the road. The first one being, and mainly being, the fact that when I'm shooting with this camera and I've got the camera up to my eye, the button to switch the meter on is on this side of the camera. So when I'm holding it up like this, naturally my thumb is going to sit around here so I can hold the camera in focus, and my thumb is over here. And when I bring it up to my eye, look how crumbed up and crunched up my arms are. So I find that to be a bit ergonomically challenging, and the way that I've been combating this is to actually lift the camera up with my right hand and put my other hand on the top to then be able to reach over and press this meter button, as well as adjust my shutter speed, which is also on the top of the camera when I've got this specific finder. It's a bit of a funny looking workaround, but it's been working for me. So I would essentially lift it up, press the button, adjust shutter speed and aperture on the lens, and then focus and then shoot. So it's the one thing that I've found to be a bit of a strange thing with the Mamiya 645. And honestly, considering all the other good things going for it, that is something I'm willing to be doing to be able to shoot with this camera. Another quirk that I found with the Mamiya 645 that kind of took me by surprise was the fact that you have to rotate the camera if I'm changing from a landscape to a portrait image. Now, it's a bit strange to think that that's a surprise to me, but coming from shooting with my RZ and its ability to rotate the back to change from portrait to landscape, doing that did catch me by surprise, and once again felt a bit strange ergonomically to meter the whole thing, focus it of course, and then if I wanted it to be a portrait, change my finger positioning and handling of the camera to be a vertical shot. Once again, something that I've learned to adapt to, and it's honestly not a big deal, but it was something worth mentioning in this format of video for my first impressions. So that's it. Those are my first impressions of the Mamiya 645 1000S. It's really ticking all the boxes for me right now. The fact that it shoots 15 photos per roll, it's lighter than my RZ, it's still Mamiya glass, and it still looks beautiful and is a pleasure to shoot. So yes, I'm thoroughly enjoying this camera. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Mamiya 645 1000S. I'd be curious to hear of any other tips and tricks that people who've shot with this camera before might have. Light up the comment section and tell me what you think of this camera as well. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.